Now, with all the melee and the hoopla going on, you got James Comey being indicted. You've got this battle back and forth between the courts and Gavin Newsom, them trying to stop President Trump and ICE from coming into their cities and removing the criminal illegal immigrants from the United States. They have been pushing back, fighting. They've been taking American taxpayer dollars and resources and flooding illegal immigrants with all of the resources they need to entice them to stay here. Why? Because they wanted to build in a voting class that would support Democrats, just like black people have done for generations. Hey, let's give you a couple scraps. And if you want to keep getting these scraps, all you got to do is give us your vote. And then we'll ignore you for 4 years. And then when it's time to come up for a vote again, we'll cater to you and we'll love you. Except for it didn't work out the way that they planned it. Now, let's not get it confused. Obama was known as the deporter in chief. During his term, he deported a little over 3 million illegal immigrants. And the Democrats are silent. Have you ever heard the Democrats even reference Barack Obama? Nope, they act like it never happened. He was known as the deporter in chief. But all of a sudden, fast forwarded, 8 years? And now President Trump is the worst thing walking. And Democrats are all of a sudden for illegal immigration. When Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Barack Obama, Joe Biden have all taken the podium and have cursed at the fact of anybody wanting to bring illegal immigrants into the United States of America. They were totally against it.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
This is not going to be a free ride. It's not going to be some instant amnesty. What's going to happen is you are going to pay a significant fine. You are going to learn English. You are going to go to the back of the line so that you don't get ahead of somebody who was in Mexico City applying illegally. But after you've done these things over a certain period of time, you can earn your citizenship. So that it's not something that is guaranteed or automatic. You've got to earn it, but over time, you give people an opportunity. Now, it only works, though, if you do all the pieces. I think the American people, they appreciate and believe in immigration, but they can't have a situation where you just have 500,000 people pouring over the border without any kind of mechanism to control it. So we've got to deal with that at the same time as we deal in a humane fashion with folks who have put down roots here, have become our neighbors, have become our friends. They may have children who are U.S. citizens. That's the kind of comprehensive approach that we have to take.
Now that Trump wants to deport them, it's the worst thing in the world. So in this video, I'm going to show you how they're being deported. And as you see right here on the screen, golden age, Trump's DHS oversees 2 million illegals deported. But when you see how they're leaving, it's probably going to blow your mind. So I'll get back to this article here. So in this first clip, I want you to hear, because here in the United States, the Democrats always talk about how mean it is what America is doing and how wrong it is for us to kick people out of our country that don't belong here. Specifically, we talk heavy about Mexico. But let's see how Americans are treated when they go to Mexico and they're not a legal resident of Mexico.
So a lot of people don't know is that Mexico is bordered with Guatemala.
Yes.
Okay. We don't let them in. So the same thing that America does to Mexico, we do to Guatemala. Okay. It just, the news is CNN, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, New York Post. They're never going to show you that. Just so you know, Mexico is extremely racist. So we have what are like Guatemalans, even so Mexicans. So you got to remember, Mexico was dominated by Spaniards. The only reason I look the way I look is because I'm 65% Spaniard.
Yeah.
Mexicans, like real Mexicans, or which is known as Mexica, not Mexico, Mexica, are 5'4", super dark with big noses and the heads pushed back. Aztecs and Mayans,
like Indians,
like Indians.
Yes.
Well, we're natives, right? So we're blended. So the reality is, in Mexico, till this day, if you are not light complected, somewhat tall, you're frowned upon to this day. And by the way, they're very open about it. It's not like it's a secret.
Wow.
So a lot of people don't.
So as we hear it, so as you heard right there in Mexico, if you're Guatemalan and you're coming into the country, not happening. As any American, there's a show called Locked Up Abroad. When you're an American and you go to one of these countries and you commit a crime, Not only are you going to court, not only might you be prosecuted, but you're saving your time. You're doing your time in that country's prison. I've seen it where they've tried to call on the ambassadors. They've reached out to the embassy, U.S. embassy, because we have an embassy in every country. They've done everything they could. And I'm talking about in rare cases, is this individual so important that the government steps in and impacts their relations with that country to get a specific person out? No. But in America, the Democrats want people to come over, take people's lives, rob, steal, do whatever, be let out on cashier's bail, then be allowed to stay when no other country does that. Not Mexico, not Russia, not anybody. You're not even getting in. And if you get caught that you snuck in, man, you better hope that there's some cameras and some people around to keep you from having your life taken. Now, as we just heard from that man who is a Mexican who told us, hey, listen, man, they prejudiced in the mug in Mexico and they don't let everybody in, but yet we want to let everybody in. Let's listen to this other Hispanic man as he talks about what's happening, because what's happening now is a surge of self-deportations. And wait till you see the lines. Wait till you see this. Listen to what he got to say.
And are there a lot of migrants inside the shelter right now trying to go to other locations to avoid ICE?
Sí, se van para otro país, pues, no tienen dinero para arrendar país. Tienen que ir.
What country are they going to? ¿A qué país se van?
Para Colombia, para otro lado, pues, para que se le haga más económico. Porque,
So are migrants trying to deport themselves? ¿Hay migrantes que están deportándose a sí mismos?
sí.
And are there a lot of
So they're deporting themselves. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit the thumbs up, because I'll never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it does help get the video out there. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're subscribed already or subscribing now, make sure that when you hit notifications, you select all. YouTube is having issues with notifications, but when you select all, YouTube will make sure you get notified when I upload new videos. And like you said, they're going to places like Colombia, trying to find some place. Now this here is a video of self-deportations taking place. And here's the reason why that's so impactful. When you self-deport, you get $1,000. You also get the right to apply and come back. If you get caught and you get deported, you're not coming back. So if ICE catches you and you're an illegal immigrant, you're going to be blocked. You won't be able to come back. I don't know if it's for 5 or 10 years. If you're a criminal and you get caught and you're an illegal immigrant, you're never going to be able to come back. So if you're just a regular person that's been here illegally working and they catch up with you, you're going to be banned from getting into the country. I believe it's 5 years, maybe 10 years. Like I said, I'll check on that. But if you're a criminal and you get caught, you're not coming back at all. But if you self-deport, you get a ride, they give you a flight, you get $1,000, and you get the right to return. So check this out, some self-deportation. I got a couple clips I want to show you that. I mean, look, they're being treated very humanely. None of the illegal immigrants look destitute to me. None of those people look destitute or like they've been here in America just starving, broken, hurting. If they'd have been here for some months or some years, everybody's clothes seem to be clean and well kept. Nice new shoes. So as you see, people are self-deporting. Let's see this clip here. And then I'm going to get to.
Ya dejó.
De ese lado, por favor.
So as you can see, people are not being deported inhumanely. They're not being treated bad. It's actually an incentive for you to self-deport. Again, you get to return. You get a few dollars in your pocket to use wherever it is you're going. I mean, and unlike some people, like remember the guy, Abrego Garcia, who everybody was going crazy over, the Democrats wanted. Well, he had been deported to his home country, El Salvador. But the courts a few years ago said he couldn't go there because he said his life was in danger. Okay. Democrats wanted him back. He came back, got brought up on more charges, and now they're sending him to Africa. So guess what, Democrats? He's not going to be in the El Salvadorian prison, but he's going to be in an African prison much farther. And if you couldn't go see him at CCOT, at the one that's out there in El Salvador, you're really not going to go see him out there in one of those African countries. So right on. This is where, in order for you to really show Democrats that what they're doing ain't working, is to give them what they want. A guy named Greg Foreman, the Black Conservative Perspective, has always said that. It's like the best thing you could do to show a Democrat that their policies, their procedures don't work, is to give them what they want and let them experience what they tried to inflict on other people. So you wanted to bring Garcia back? Cool, he came back. Now he's going to Africa. You talked about him not being able to communicate or life being in danger in El Salvador amongst his people where he spoke the language. Now he's going someplace where he doesn't speak the language. He doesn't have any affiliate. At least at the one in El Salvador, maybe a whole gang homie or somebody that knew somebody. In Africa, I assure you, the man will probably have zero connections and would be looked at like a piece of steak. I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this video, Chapter. And here's why. When my mom hit 65 years old, I watched her get bombarded with mailers, cold calls, and all these confusing ads about Medicare. And every single company pretended like they wanted to help her, but really they were just trying to sell her stuff. It seemed like the game was rigged and she was not supposed to win at all. And that's why I'm so excited to share information about Chapter with all of you. Now, who Chapter is? Chapter is a free Medicare advisory service that compares Medicare plans available, and they give you real, unbiased guidance. Chapter is completely independent and always puts customers first. Their whole focus is all about making sure that their customers, the seniors, get the right Medicare plan. And it's clear that they're making a real difference in the lives of seniors. So if you want real, unbiased help with Medicare, give Chapter a call at 402-527-1253. You'll talk to a real person who will help you figure out exactly which plan is right for you. Now, Chapter is totally free and has saved the average senior $1,000 a year. So I'm going to put the number here on the screen for you to be able to contact, or if you visit the website, go to askchapter.org/realpolitics. Now let's check out Tom Homan, our border czar, the man who, do you know they tried to get this man caught up talking about a bribery scheme? When he was a civilian, before taking on his role as border czar in the Trump administration, this man was working for himself. He wasn't even in government. And he met some people, the FBI posed as undercovers that were trying to get contracts. I had a meeting with him. Told him if he connected them with this person or that person, they would pay him $50,000. Now, the Democrats want to say, bringing him up on bribery charges, just in case you've heard that. But the kicker is this: he wasn't in office. He wasn't working for the administration. So what were they bribing him to do? And as a citizen, as a civilian, he could take money from somebody for a connection or for a link up. It's not bribery. Trump hadn't even been elected yet. And so again, if you notice, if you did hear about Tom Homan and yada yada and taking briberies, if you notice, it's died down and the Democrats aren't screaming anymore because it was a nothing burger. The Biden DOJ investigated it. They found it to be a nothing burger. But now Democrats, again, just like the Epstein files, and I'll get into that in another video, because what has just been unleashed explains why President Trump and the Republicans have been hesitant on releasing that. And it has nothing to do with President Trump, but has a whole lot to do with the intelligence community. But let's check out Tom Homan as he talks to Laura Ingraham about the self-deportations and the 2 million that have been removed out of America. Check this out.
We're at over 400,000 deportations, and between CBP and ICE, and that's just since the president took office. The first 4 months of the fiscal year, we can't count that because Joe Biden wasn't doing anything. But here's what people need to understand: 2 things. Number one, over 1.5 million illegal aliens, close to 1.6 illegal aliens already left the country on their own. Why? Because they see what ICE is doing out there every day. One of the reasons we have the most secure border in the history of this nation is because the great work of the men and women of the Border Patrol, the great work of President Trump and his leadership, but also because ICE is out there, over 1,000 teams all across the country arresting people. So a lot of people have left, a lot of people aren't coming, which helps to secure that border. And that was a part of the strategy from the beginning. We said if we show consequences, we show them we're actually out there looking for them, many will leave. So we knew with a large population leaving, over 1.5 million have. But what's to come? ICE is getting 10,000 more agents. Right now, they got 5,000 deportation officers. We're tripling the size of the workforce. We're adding more detention beds. We're adding more flights and more transportation. So the numbers are going to explode here right this next coming year.
Now, and I'm not sure if you know this, but MSNBC the other night, literally, Rachel Maddow ran promotion for this toll-free line. CNN did it too, for these people to call, and it literally helps them to avoid ICE. And here's the kicker, like in Chicago. If a person killed somebody or robbed somebody and got arrested, and they're an illegal immigrant, ICE obviously wants to pick them up. Do you know in Chicago, they release that person back into the community so ICE can't get them? Now, they just took the life of one of your constituents. You know, one of those black and brown or white people that you say you love so much, Brandon Johnson, but you released the murderer back amongst the sheep. You let the wolf go back amongst the sheep because you want them to ignore ICE. Do you know that in Chicago, Brandon Johnson said that any police officer, for one, Chicago police are not allowed to work with the federal government or help ICE. If they do, they have to show their face. They have to wear a name badge. And there was another stipulation that was just horrible. So showing your face and wearing a name badge, that's risking their life. to save the lives of the constituents. That's how nasty and evil this man is. But let me get into this article. Overseas, 2 million illegal deported. And as you just heard Tom Homan, that's 1.6 self-deportations, 1.6 million self-deportations. That's not even including the deportations that they have done themselves. So we're looking at probably about 2.2, 2.3 million. And that's with these blue states and these blue cities where, think about it, where the bulk of them are in these sanctuary cities. But it's the mayors of the sanctuary cities like Wu in Boston, Brandon Johnson in Chicago, that Karen Bass, that are refusing to work with the federal government. And they're not even talking about wanting to go through the neighborhoods. They just want to go to the jails and to the prisons, pluck them right out of custody and be gone with them. Nobody is at risk. The community's safe, but nope. Brandon Johnson and who else did I say? Karen Bass or Mayor Wu, Michelle Wu up in Boston. They're literally just letting them back out, tell their eyes, oh, I don't know where they went. And these are American politicians, but I'll get back into this. So DHS oversees 2 million illegal deported from the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, announced that 2 million illegal aliens have either been deported or self-deported from the United States since President Trump took office in January 20th. According to DHS officials, immigration and customs enforcement agents are on pace to deport almost 600,000 illegal aliens by the end of Trump's first year in his second term. Broken down more specifically, DHS officials have say an estimated 1.6 million illegal aliens have self-deported from the U.S., while ICE agents have deported more than 400,000 illegal aliens with the resistance from the Democrats. Altogether, DHS officials say 2 million illegal aliens have been deported in fewer than 250 days. The numbers don't lie. 2 million illegal aliens have been removed or self-deported in just 250 days, proving that President Trump's policies and Secretary Noem's leadership are working and making American communities safe, DHS's Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement. Ramped up immigration enforcement targeting the worst of the worst is removing more and more criminal illegal aliens off our streets every day, and is sending a clear message to anyone else in this country illegally: self-deport or we will arrest and deport you. DHS officials also touted that the agency has released 0 illegal aliens into the U.S. interior from the southern border for 4 consecutive months. Nobody. A massive turnaround from the Biden years when hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens were being released every month. Self-deportations have been a major focus of Trump's second term. Under Trump, DHS created the CPB home mobile app where illegal aliens can report their self-deportation from the U.S., secure a free flight home and travel assistance, and receive a $1,000 stipend when they can prove they have returned to their home country. Okay, so the $1,000 gets sent when you show that you're back home. So you get a flight, you get, obviously you saw they were staying in a Hampton Inn. You're not staying in some sleazebag hotel. You get a flight to the country of your choice. You get $1,000 sent to you once you get there. Then you get a chance to apply to come back. And anybody that's trying to make it seem like, oh, what America's doing is just so radical and so racist and so evil, obviously does not check what's going on around the world. It doesn't realize that at the United Nations this past week, President Trump actually has something to say to them about the fact that they're allowing the illegal immigrants to flood their countries and the backlash that it will receive.
Proud nations must be allowed to protect their communities and prevent their societies from being overwhelmed by people they have never seen before, with different customs, religions, with different everything. Where migrants have violated laws, lodged false asylum claims, or claimed refugee status for illegitimate reasons, they should, in many cases, be immediately sent home. And while we will always have a big heart for places and people that are struggling and truly compassionate, answers will be given. We have to solve the problem, and we have to solve it in their countries, not create new problems in our countries. And we are very helpful to a lot of countries that are just not able to send their people anymore. They used to send them to us in caravans of 25, 30,000 people each. These massive caravans of people pouring into our country, totally unchecked and unvetted. But not anymore. According to the Council of Europe in 2024, almost 50% of inmates in German prisons were foreign nationals or migrants. In Austria, the number was 53% of the people in prisons were from places that weren't from where they are now. In Greece, the number was 54%. And in Switzerland, beautiful Switzerland, 72% of the people in prisons are from outside of Switzerland. When your prisons are filled with so-called asylum seekers who repaid kindness, and that's what they did, they repaid kindness with crime. It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. your countries are going to hell.
So I just wanted to bring you this information. If you stayed and you watched this with me the entire time, I want to say I thank you from the top and bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.